The world is hurting. So many people flirting with two of the most soul-crushing and destructive dangers, pride and anger. A generation brazenly taking their ways from the front page of Satan's playbook, and many say their faith in the human race is shook. Is this the case? Simply take a look at the hate-laced comments on the face of Facebook. Outrage and evil words being hurled like daggers at the world, many ready to curse his brother for nothing more than thinking like a stranger. Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor." Yet today, hate decays discourse, and the days of civility are slipping away. Many of us disagree with disgust and won't discuss important matters with any who don't already think like us. But is this us? Is this the we aim to be? Venomous men and women void of general decency? In the age of raging polarization, where great minds stay away for the fear of facing societal assassination, are we really okay with silencing the other side of every single conversation? Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor." And all too often we engage in toxic communication, like finding fault with others is the way to elevate our own station. Like taking no thought for another brother's reputation is how we pave our path to the world's greatest congratulations. And then we cover our true face as if humility is the same as humiliation. All the while, are we really communicating, staying in echo chambers, unable to let go of our never-ending justifications and unrighteous anger? Even if the echoes seem free of jealousy and hate, every echo chamber carries the inherent danger of making us crazy. For when the voices in your own head are simply shouting your own name, or when your own voice is the only sound bouncing around in your own brain, there will be no gain. It's time to live life with the aim of having our voices be used for healing instead of pain. Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor." At times it seems that every effort is met with a generous measure of contention, yet contention is never generous, and it's measured in dents, evidenced by fractured and fragmented relationships. And if we ever intend to witness the end of this cycle of contempt and contention, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our existence entrenched in persistent aggression, might I make a simple suggestion? Learn to listen. For to listen is to know, and to know is to love, and it is only by love that we will ever become what we're meant to become. And that, brothers and sisters, is one. You and I need to be unified, and that's do or die. To survive, we need to align behind the idea that truth exists, but all men are born blind, and we're all blind, so it's no wonder why we can't unify behind a simple statement like, "Blue is the sky." Does blue even exist to a man with no eyes? Do clouds rolling by determine whether the sky is blue or gray or white? And what of the one who only gets to see the sky at night? Does he think it's right to say blue is the sky? Only if he trusts that the one telling him so won't tell a lie. Truth is not about perception. Truth is not based on my limited vision or your Sunday school teacher's lesson. Truth can be learned, but can only be confirmed by the Spirit of the one from whom all truth is sent. Anything less is at best an educated guess. Yet, even within our own ranks, truth takes many forms and leads to unnecessary breaks. Pride awakens and anger takes hold of a conversation, even though we know that anger never persuades and pride alone can lead to the destruction of nations. We must teach by inspiration and gentle persuasion. To persuade is to light and kindle a little flame of fire until the strength of the truth warms the hearts of those who hear it. Truth can only be transferred from one another, spirit to spirit. So build, lift, encourage, persuade, inspire. That is how the truth spreads through the world like wildfire. And Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor." So now we get to the heart of the matter-of-fact question that we must ask if we are ever to figure out the path to get back on track. What question is that? Who is my neighbor? We spend endless days finding ways to separate us from they, for fear that they might take away what's ours or change the rules of play. But when asked that question, who is my neighbor, what did Jesus say? He said your neighbor is they. They that are black, they that are rich, homeless, and gay, they that are Muslim, they that are immigrants, they who prefer to be referred to as they, the lovely, the sinful, the hurtful, the fray, they who lead nations and they who don't pray. They are our neighbors and they are the way. They are God's children. There are no shades of gray. Every single soul since the beginning of time is our neighbor, so seek not to split and divide. We have not the power to condemn any other, so our focus should be on how to love every other. Our love should extend and emanate in every direction to every soul blessed by the Savior's death and resurrection. Will we deny his power to another because of their beliefs or their skin's complexion? We need not reject lest we seek to see our own rejection. What is love in the context of loving our neighbor? Does it mean we need to change our beliefs or condone all manner of different behaviors? Does it mean we pretend that wrong is right, that black is white, or that ignoring our differences is doing us any kind of favors? No, we simply need to love with the love of our Savior. A love that throws no stones. A love that goes from home to home and breaks no bones. A love that sings only joyous tones amid the struggling world's increasing groans. A love that ignites the desire to do right. A love that inspires a smile of delight. A love that opens arms wide. A love that invites. Charity is the pure love of Christ. Charity is where we carry the very burdens that take our neighbors to their knees. Charity is where we share the grief of the widows and the addicts, and we're there for their relief. We're there all the while maintaining our beliefs. Charity is the willingness to have just a little less and share the stress when our neighbors find themselves in the olive press. Charity is the answer to that undying, underlying question, the question of how we can end this relentless contention. Charity is the predicate of every blessing of heaven, and whether we know it or not, that is one of life's most necessary lessons. So from this day forward, I ask you to put down your verbal weapons of war. Let your words be transformed into plowshares instead of swords. For in the day that our diverse voices can be raised in a harmonious chorus of one accord, that is when we can be referred to as we, and we can truly be called the Lord's.